CEO of Janelle Group International, which is the platform for transformational leadership coaching. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome Dr. Clarice Fluid! Come on, give her a big hand!
Hello, Orlando! So many times we hear something that sounds so good. I think I'll do this or I think I'll do that. And we do nothing but think about it. You know, the funniest thing happened. I'm from Louisiana. How many of you have heard of Duck Dynasty? Well, that's my hometown, Monroe, Louisiana. The Duck Dynasty people are in Monroe, Louisiana. And as I was leaving to come here to Orlando at 6:40 yesterday in the morning, here come the Duck Dynasty people. We're all leaving at the same time. And so I said, well, I'm on my way to Orlando. So we took pictures together. And I thought, what is it about this Duck Dynasty? The opportunities that we've got ducks in Louisiana, and these people have become multi-millionaires talking about ducks. So there must be opportunities if you just open your eyes all around you to see incredible and wonderful things. So we took our pictures and we shook hands, and I came here and I went to the Peabody. And this man in this beautiful red suit came up to me and he had a cane with a duck on it. And I thought, what is all this about ducks? And so he says, I'm a duck master. And I said, sir, I'm not familiar with duck masters. Inform me. It's not a shameful thing for you not to know everything, but it's a shameful thing not to ask a question. So I said, tell me, what does a duck master do? He said, there's only 3 in the world. There's one in Little Rock, Arkansas. There is one in Memphis, Tennessee, and there is one here. And I am Ronald, the duck master, not Donald. And he said, at 5 o'clock, the ducks are going to walk in and walk out. And I thought, what is all this about ducks? And it occurred to me, possibly, we have come into this place to make a declaration. We've got our ducks in a row. And that we are here to be able to absorb and reflect the wisdom, the knowledge, and the understanding. You and I need a new vocabulary. It needs to be filled with life, and it needs to be filled with opportunity, and it needs to be filled with things that are positive, because life draws life. But he goes down and he repeats the scenario. I want the money. And the lady, the first lady, was so kind and nice to him. But this time he got an old telefeller that's been around for a while. And he said, I want to make a withdrawal. He says, okay, endorse the check. He says, I told the people at the other place, I will not endorse the check. I'm not into endorsing. Nothing you can do to make me endorse it. And the guy reached up, the teller reached up and grabbed him by the hair of the head, pulled him and went, bam, bam, bam. He said, sign that check. He felt led. And he signed the check and they gave him the money. And so he went back to the first bank, and of course he's got a big knot on his head, blood's running down. And he says to the first teller, got my money. And she said, sir, did you endorse the check? He said, sure I did. She says, well, I would have given it to you here if you had done that. You had the opportunity to do it here instead of going there. He said, yeah, but that person explained it to me. So I am the first telefeller to be here today. I am encouraging you to endorse the opportunity, but they have other speakers that will explain it to you if you're not careful. So we want to be able to know the opportunities that are presented to us. So today, as you listen to these people that are going to give you these incredible explanations and understandings and impartations of wisdom, I want you to be one that's not going to just say, I'm going to go, I don't do this, I don't endorse this, and I don't endorse that. Just be open.
Great wisdom. Would you welcome my friend, finance guru, Susie O?
As I came in and people said, tell me, where should I save money? Where should I put it? What should I do now? Before you know what to do with money, before you're able to do that which you should do with money, you really have to have an understanding of what are you doing to be the obstacle in your own path to financial freedom.
I am here. When I leave, you are going to be super motivated. And the reason it will be because you will see how much energy I have. Do you feel it?
Yeah. Woo!
When you leave here, can you continue to think? Or do you need me to sit in your house every day? I don't know how many of you read the Bible. It's important for you to understand that those messages in the Bible, strong. If you take them in, understand them, you will move. You will move. So these two guys were walking, and the guy said, what is that crowd? He said, the guy said, I don't know what it is. Let's see what. When they got closer, walked in, he said, it's Jesus. The guy said, yeah, must be a movie or something. So he walked, and there was a woman was coming away, and she was just crying, and she was so happy. She said, who is that? She said, this is Jesus. She said, really? Yes, it's Jesus. I'm healed. What? So they went up, worked their way to the crowd. So the one guy said, are you really Jesus? Jesus said, yes. He said, oh, Jesus. Jesus, I have high blood pressure. Could you heal me? Jesus said, yes. He said, okay, go ahead. Jesus said, stop eating salt. Yeah, okay, Jesus, okay, but now, Jesus, please, would you just touch and cleanse me of everything? Jesus said, you don't have to. He said, but I have high blood pressure. Jesus said, I just told you, stop eating salt. That's it? You know, I'm disappointed in you. And Jesus said, wait till you meet my Father.
This is a story from childhood. This is a true story. It happened many years ago when I was 14 years old. We're in 9th grade. So this will be our last year in this junior high school, then we go to high school. We were in 9B4. 9B1 was A students. 9B2 was B students. 9B3 was C students. We were in 9B4. 9B4 was, we're not sure. 9B5 were Neanderthals. One guy in 9B5 loved me because I removed a thorn from his paw. Anyway, it was a tough group. All right, one day in 9B4, we're in the homeroom class. Gil Mermelstein did not come to school. Now we called him Moppo, Gil Moppo, because he had hair like a mop. So we decided we'll go over to see why he didn't come to school. So me, Herbie Cohen, and Brazzi Abadi
walked over to Gil Mappo's house to see why he didn't come to school. Now this is to show you how people can become successful despite disparaging things. I went on to change my name, become Larry King. I did all right in broadcasting. Herbie Cohen went on to write You Can Negotiate Anything. Playboy magazine called him the world's greatest negotiator. And Brazzi Abadi became a brain surgeon, wound up owning his own hospital in Buffalo, New York. So you got me, Herbie Cohen, Brazzi Abadi, become three pretty successful kids. Later on, we walked to Gil Mappo's house, and nobody's home, and there's a guy sitting in front of the house looking very sad. And he tells us that he's Mappo's cousin, and that Mappo got tuberculosis. And he and his parents have moved to Tucson, Arizona, where the air is better, and he's going to have to be there a year, because it's going to take a year for him to cure tuberculosis. He tells us he's his only living relative. He has no other relatives. He lives in New Jersey. He's waiting to go to school tomorrow to tell the school that Mappo will not be coming back to school. He can't leave him back because of illness, so he's going to go on to high school. So he wants to tell the school. Herbie says, you live in New Jersey? Go home. We'll tell the school. So he says, thanks. He leaves. We're walking down the street, and Herbie says, I'll never forget the moment. I got a great idea to make money. He's his only living relative. Mappo's in Tucson with his parents. We'll tell him Mappo died. Can't miss. We'll raise money for flowers and candy. There's nobody there to check on it. He's with his parents. He's an only child. There's one cousin in New Jersey. You can't miss. So Brazzi says, well, what happens next year when we go to high school? Don't forget about it. We'll be in high school. High school's 10 miles away. Nobody will know. It's foolproof. We go into school the next day. We go up to the teacher. We went to Mappo's house. He's dead. They call the office. The office called the house. They call Mappo's house. The operator says, phone disconnected. They write deceased. We raised $230. We went to Nathan's, we had hot dogs, we went to movies, we got money, we bought flowers for people. We were having a great time. All right, 2 weeks later, the principal asked to see us in his office. All right, we figure we're doomed. We're walking down the hall to go to his office. Brazzi's starting to cry, I'll never be a doctor, I'll never be a doctor. My father had died, so I was thinking, how's my mother gonna handle this? This is so embarrassing. Here's Herbie, the negotiator. No problem. I'll handle it, no problem. I'll tell him we had the wrong information, we'll return the money, we'll apologize, it'll be all right. We go into the principal's office, he's not mad, he's smiling. He doesn't know us from Adam. He says, sit down, my three young friends, I am so proud of you. He says, the New York Times is conducting a citywide story about junior high schools. High schools get all the attention. Junior high schools don't get any attention. They don't play each other in football. So we had a meeting of the faculty. The New York Times wants to do stories about junior high schools that do projects. One of the teachers mentioned how the three of you raised money for the late Gil Mermelstein. What we are going to have is the Gil Mermelstein Memorial Assembly. 2 days before graduation, we'll pick out the best student in the school, we'll give him the award, we'll put a big plaque in the lobby, and each year we'll add the name of that year's winner. So Gil Mermelstein Memorial will be forever embedded in this school. We checked the records, he's the only kid in this school ever to die. And most kids make that leap past 14. Okay, now we'd like the three of you to sit on the stage in honor of your late friend. Okay, we should have told them. We should have told them. But we were caught up in the ego of the moment. Now we're leaving the office and we're walking back to our class, and Herbie said something I'll never forget. You know, someday in the future, this award will kick in. Mappo will die. Anyway, this was written up in the New York. You couldn't invent this. All right. 2 days before graduation, the Gil Mermelstein Memorial Assembly. On the stage is the winner of the award. His parents are there, a kid from 9B1. Places the entire auditorium. 3 of us are sitting on stage. Principal's on the stage. It's a wonderful day. The New York Times guy is there with a photographer. And that day, Mappo came back to school. As they like to say, in tubercular history, this was medicine's finest moment. They cured Mappo. So, there's 2 ways Mappo can come into the school. He could go in the back door, which leads right into the auditorium, or the side door. First, he goes into the class. Nobody's in school. He goes to the office. They say, report to the auditorium. Mappo goes down to the auditorium. He chooses the big brass doors. He opens the big brass doors, and the first thing he sees is a banner. Gil Mermelstein Memorial Assembly. Mappo is not the brightest guy in the world, but he knows what memorial means, right? So he freezes. The kids in the back row know immediately, right away, Brazzy, Larry, and Herbie glommed us for $230. Mappo's alive, but this is a farce. They know it right away because they were New York City high school kids, junior high school kids. If you're a D student in New York, you're mayor of Des Moines. You can phone it in, right? So they start to laugh. The principal looks around. One of the kids yells out, "Hey, that's Mappo." Principal Herbie stands up on stage. To this day, I don't know why he did this. He screams, "Go home, Mappo, you're dead." Mappo, please. There's pandemonium in the assembly. The winner of the award. Do I get the award? Do I get the... The principal looks at the 3 of us. Report to my office now. His veins are bursting. Now we're walking down the hall again. The New York Times guy's behind us. You invented a death, right? Brazzy's crying, I'm crying. I swear to God, here's Herbie. No problem. I'll handle this. How are we going to get out of this? We go into his office. The principal is crazed. The 3 of you are suspended from school for life. Go down to your lockers, get everything out of your lockers, go home. You won't graduate, of course. I'm going to recommend Rikers Island. I'm going to recommend Shop Rocks. Get out of my sight. Get out. And Herbie says, you're making a big mistake. The principal says, what do you mean? He says, well, if you suspend us, there has to be a hearing before the New York City School Board. That's a law. And at the hearing, we'll be suspended. 3 stupid kids come in. We'll be done. We're done. We'll be suspended. But someone on the school board is going to say, Mr. Principal, 3 dumb kids tell you a kid died. You make 1 call. The operator says phone disconnected. You stage an assembly. The Gil Mermelstein Memorial Award based on the word of 3 kids. Mr. Principal will be suspended, and you'll never be principal again in the city of New York. Why don't we just forget the whole thing? And sure enough, we forgot, and we graduated 2 days later, and end of the story, we graduate not by name, but by size. For some reason, the smaller guys went first. So Gil Mermelstein was right in front of Herbie, and we're walking down, and the principal's reading off the names. John Jones from Gil Mermelstein. Herbie pushed him aside and said, I'll take it, he's dead. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, let's go. Yeah.